The whole Andre 3000. I choose you.
Welcome to Message Reveal. Message Reveal identifies a vibe, a message, or a story told through lyrics of a song. And yes, you guys, you know how I do every Monday. I bring you a special guest. And if you're new to this platform, thank you for coming. And if you're ones that come every time, I appreciate your support. So let's get started to talk about our special guest. One, he's a native of Las Vegas. Yes, yes, yes. We always big up our natives of Las Vegas. Number two, he's a member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. So we definitely want to find out more about that journey. But last but not least, let me get this all the way right. He is the founder and owner of SilverSpoon Clothing Co. You guys, please put your hands together and welcome my special guest, Mr. Darion Weatherspoon.
Thank you. How y'all doing? How you doing? I appreciate you getting the name right the first time. Everybody says Darion.
Oh, good. I try to do my homework to make sure. So thank you. So how are you today?
I'm blessed beyond what I deserve.
Ooh, okay. Well, I am just so enamored by what you do, and I think it's a space here in Vegas that you are creating. And I'm really excited to hear more information about your process, what you do, and how you came up with it. But before we get started, this second season is about love. It's don't forget about the love. So I asked my guests this one particular question. Can you identify a person, place, or a thing that you forgot about the love, but it brought you back? Can you think of something that you can share with us?
Something, person, place, a thing that made me forget about the love, but brought me back. I would say overall, just the friendship, the friend group that I have, and cigars, actually.
Ooh.
Um, I'm a member of Tap and Ash Cigar Club, one of, if not the best cigar lounges in not only the city of Las Vegas, but in the country. Um, and there has been times where, like, I felt low, depressed. I openly talk about it, suicidal, and to have that fellowship of brothers, with the joint fellowship of brothers made with just cigars. So I think that's the best example of love. These are men that I know without a shadow of a doubt they have my back, they're on my team, um, and to have that is incredible.
Let's just unpack one of the things you said, if you don't mind, and you said suicidal. How do you get to that point where you are there and you walk yourself out of that situation? Because we know many people have went down that road. What's the catalyst for you to open yourself and get out of that situation?
It's hard to say. I mean, I actually have a death day. The story that, I say that the Darion of past passed away June 18th of 2021. That was the actual day that I had decided that I was going to commit suicide. It was done. I made the decision. And I mean, gun to head, ready to go. This is, why I say God is amazing. My phone just rings. Out of nowhere, my phone rings, and it's my best friend from college, my former roommate. Now he hates when I say that he saved my life because he's just like I didn't know it because I didn't tell him any of my struggles, what was going on. Life had just turned completely upside down, and he just said, "Hey, he lives in Arizona." He's like, "Hey, I'm driving to Vegas. I just need to get out of Arizona for a little bit. Can I come stay with you?"
And
Like
that
little does he know I had a gun right next to me. I wanted to end it all, but that phone call, I was like, well, I gotta stay. I gotta see my boy. I can't do him like that. Gotta see my man's. And, you know, I counted as that was the day that all the Darion of past died away. And I always tell people that it's an ongoing struggle. I mean, I even openly talk about the fact that I was suicidal again at the beginning of this year. I mean, I had over $3,000 worth of bills and debt and everything with negative $200 in my bank account. And it just everything I was built, everything I worked for, all the people that I cherished and cared about, they turned their back, in my opinion, turned their back on me. And it was done. And again, God's good grace and favor, just miraculously out of nowhere, a former client just comes back to me and says, "Hey, I need to get like 4 suits. Can you do that for me?"
Wow.
And then another client 2 days later was like, "Yeah, I need to order two of them, and I need it on the rush so you can double the price."
Wow.
And it was like, that's why I just say one thing about me, people know I'm a devout like I'm a true follower, believer of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and I'll advocate for God anywhere I go because of situations like this, because I firsthand have seen when things get low, God wraps his arms around you. And I always say I turn it over to everything. Like my entire business, my company, I've turned it over to God. I'm just the manager. He owns it.
Yes.
And, I started my company 2020, leaving I was a creative director of a fashion house in Atlanta, made it very successful, made, plenty of money. I was 23, almost died with COVID, made me realize I need to start my own business. Um, Said I wanted to be around some love, came back home to Vegas. I thought I was going to have the same traction as in Atlanta. I was brutally mistaken. And like I tell people, these suits ain't selling all the time. So, just that level of depression, everything crumbled. And then now I'm still not out of it. I'm still not out of the woods. I still struggle every day, but just to know that, God is walking with me, and I always say he's been God has walked me through 100% of my worst days. Ain't missed
Wow.
one. The next day I still woke up. So
Yes. I love that. I want you to talk to someone that's sitting in that space and feel like they have nothing to grasp. They don't have a best friend. They don't have maybe a mother or a father or someone, as you mentioned before, your cigar members. What would you tell a person that feel like they're all alone and they're like, I want to go do this? What would you say to them? How could you speak to their spirit?
well, unfortunately, I've had to do this last week, last Tuesday. One of my closest friends, one of my dear brothers, he actually funded my business. He committed suicide.
I'm sorry to hear
And
that.
yeah, I was the very last person he spoke with on the phone. He actually sent me in text message his suicide note. So it's been a difficult last like week and a half, but in that, I look at what me and him always told each other, because we both were leaning on each other so heavy, and we always told each other, if you don't have anybody else in this planet Earth, you got me. And I think that just being genuine, like I say, I died that day in June of 2021. When I say I died, I didn't physically die, obviously, but just the struggles and everything of societal pressures, what society deems as love, what society deems as success, and I put that aside and I said, you know what, I'm gonna be 100% unapologetically me. And there are still days where I feel alone, depressed, and I don't have many friends. Which I tell people I really don't. People say, "Oh, you have plenty of friends." No, I don't. I'm never the person that gets called. I'm like, "Oh, we going out to the." Most
Mm,
days I'm sitting at the house by myself. So that's even a struggle. When I see people that I'm close with going out with other people I'm close with, I'm like, "Dang, they ain't called me."
yes.
But now I just make silly of it because I'm like, well, again, God see me through 100% of my worst days in that aspect, and I reevaluated myself on that concept of what love is, and I told myself, even if nobody else loves me, that is not their responsibility. My responsibility is to love as many people as possible, and I
But
think that's why.
also yourself too, right?
Yeah, love yourself, but then I realize my identity is love in the sense of before I pass away, my goal is to know, like, let every person on planet Earth, not just my friends, not family, strangers, even enemies, that I love them. And this is where in my spiritual walk, I'm realizing, scripture tells us to love thy neighbor, take care of each other, think about each other, care. So whenever I feel down, I just remind myself, this is my mission. This is what I'm supposed to be here to love. Even if nobody loves me back, it doesn't need to be reciprocated.
Hmm.
Nowhere did the Bible promise us that everything that we put out is going to be reciprocated exactly back to us. But he did give us our promises that he would be there for us and he would give us back, you know, in his time. So that's where my motivation comes in, the concept of love and what keeps me going when I feel low today.
So thank you for first just being really transparent with this process, because typically this is not something someone get on and they talk about, and I think it does need to be examined and explored, because it is an energy of that I've seen when the pandemic happened. And I don't know if it was because a lot of times people were closed off and they didn't have that natural interaction that they did day to day. Whatever the case may be, I do believe it's some things that we can do, maybe working out, the way we eat, what we allow into our frequency, meaning what we're watching on TV, what we're listening to. Do you believe that that is also a part of the process with staying healthy?
Yes, I mean that's whatever medium would float you. Like for me, of course, describe my business again, SilverSpoon Clothing Co. I am a concierge designer uh, and tailor. So I make custom suits, custom shirts. I have my own line of shoes, duffel bags, etc. If you tell me you need custom socks, guess what my job now is? Make you custom socks. But I'm a concierge designer in the sense I'm a private tailor. So I only take exclusively 150 clients a year. But in that, with all my struggles and everything, what also kept me going was putting on my suits, getting dressed. My medium wasn't music, it wasn't, you know, playing, it was putting on a suit and have people admire the look that I have. And now the inside, I realize I'm gilded because I'm putting on this suit. And little do y'all know, my bank account is, I got more problems than money. I'm under broke. Y'all don't know that, but it's still the idea of putting on some clothes and you feel different. You walk different. Your posture becomes different. I got to tell guys, if you're ever depressed, come see me, get a custom suit, and let's see how depressed you are when you put that suit on, walk outside, and you ain't even got to go nowhere.
Yes,
Just go
yes.
outside, put this nice suit on, and just walk down the street.
Hmm.
And you're gonna tell people want to tell you you look good.
Well, that's changing your frequency. That's changing your environment. I think it's a gospel song that says change the atmosphere. That's
Mhm.
the same process. You're changing the atmosphere. Whatever you had before, let's put something new to elevate it, to bring it to the next level. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, like I think that appearance, when people look at suits and just their overall appearance, that is a form of everybody. Of course, we're in a mental health, self care era now. People are acknowledging, but something as minor as getting a haircut,
Yes.
or something as minor as going to go eat. My mom gets on me all the time, like, you only got $40 in your bank account, but you eating out every day. And I remind her, hey, I'm not finna be broke and hungry. Pick a struggle.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
not gonna be I'm not gonna be broke and look bad. I'm gonna get a haircut. Like, I'm
Well,
not
but you
gonna be broke
understand where your
and be
mother,
bummy. I'm gonna put a suit on and just be broke with a suit. I'm just gonna
but
look
you
good.
understand where your mother's coming from too, though,
I know. I
don't you?
mean, but I'm like, hey, look. Yes, I got $40 in my bank account. Yes, my bills is due. Yes, my car payment is late. But guess what? These oxtails is in front of me for $20. If I was broke yesterday and I'm broke today, I'm still gonna be the same little broke tomorrow. I might as well.
So
And
you
that
gonna
and these
live your best life each
yeah,
day.
because again, when you have somebody like me who's have a actual death day, a day that I mark and celebrate every single year, like that is the day that I really truly died. I feel like, and I move on, I'm walking on borrowed time.
Wow.
I'm walking in on borrowed time, and my goal, my job is to dress people, be the most genuine friend that I can be, have the connections with people, have genuine connections with people. I don't, that's why, even my social media, which you guys right now follow me on Instagram at silverspoon.co. Even my social media, everybody says, "Oh, you gotta do bigger on social media, do this." I'm like, that's not genuine to me. That's not authentic. If you look at my last few posts, each one of my posts are captions that are genuine. Like that's how I feel about people. That's what's more important.
Well,
More
I'm
than the other.
really glad that you move in that direction because I think people have been forced to do things outside of their who they generally are. And you know how hard that is to maintain something and that's not naturally who you are. So I applaud you for saying, "Hey, this is who I am." And you're building your brand, you're building your business on generally who you are. And I think that's to be commended, seriously.
Thank you.
So let's get into music.
Mm.
Music has turned me all the way out in a great way. So I asked my guest this one particular question. Can you identify a song that has either blessed you, given you perspective, or provided a lesson for you? Now, before you answer, there's some rules to this, okay?
Mm.
If you can sing, I need you to sing your throat box out, okay? I need to hear it. If you can rap, I need you to come hard in the paint. But if you cannot do either one of those, I need you to say it with your heart. Say it, as they say in the streets, 10 toes down. That's what I need you to do. So I'll go back to the original question. A blessing, a distraction, or a lesson. Can you identify a song that has given you one of those three?
Yeah. Immediately, it's turned into my life song. It was a song that I heard my graduation. When I graduated, I went to the illustrious Clark Atlanta University in Atlanta, Georgia. Majored in fashion design. I also played football there. I'm the only fashion football player in NCAA history.
Wow.
Graduated number one in my class, top of my class, all those, accolades and whatnot.
Well, wait,
So
let me clap that up. Let me clap that up.
thank you. And it's also our homecoming. That the day we're filming this is Clark Atlanta's homecoming. So, CAU, the greatest college on earth. But the
Wow.
song, it was a song that was sung. It's a Negro spiritual called Lord I Done Done.
Mm.
And that was the first song that I remember that actually made me cry, and it gave me perspective. And whenever I feel down, even now, and when I want to quit, with my business, when I want to change up my business model to, focus on making money, even with my youth group, I'm the guide right director for the Kappa League. Working with the kids. When I get frustrated, the song lyrics is literally just, "Lord, I done what you told me to do."
Mm.
And it's like, you told me to sing and I done that too. You told me to preach and I done that too. You told me to work and I've done. It's just like this the concept of all things that, Lord, you told me to do it. I've done.
Wow. I've never heard this song. Do you happen to know who the who it's by, excuse me?
It's not like I said, it's an old Negro spiritual. So, of course there's uh
Name
no
attached to it?
yeah, there's no, name attached to it because everything was taken from us.
Yes.
The best example that if you have Apple Music, the Morgan State University Choir, they
Mm-hmm.
have a great rendition. And if you go on PBS, if you Google it with PBS and put Howard, Howard performed it for Obama at the some dinner he was having at the White House in like
Thank you.
09 or
Th-
yeah, like 09, 2010, somewhere in there.
Good, because we like to have a reference. So if someone wants to tap in and say, "Hey, I want to listen to that song," thank you for providing that reference. So that song kind of carries you throughout your life. You said since 2008?
Well, that no, I heard it. I graduated 2018 from Clark Atlanta.
Okay.
That's when I heard it. I heard it
Okay, because
clap.
I'm like, you were a baby 2008.
Oh no, no, I wasn't even in high school yet. I don't believe. Yeah, I wasn't even in high school yet. But
Oh,
that song really because it gives you perspective. One, knowing that it's a Negro spiritual and a hymn, and understanding slavery and what our ancestors had to deal with. The fact that they was on the field or wherever they may have been, and that was their form of worship, and understanding that they're still serving God, and like I'm doing everything you instructed me to do, Lord.
yes, yes,
And, and fast forward to today, it resonates because it's like, get it, all the things that we're supposed to do. Be a good person, get married, read the scripture, all these things. That's what we've been charged to do. God, I did it.
yes. Well, um, I think that's a wonderful way to kind of look at things that, I've done it. And in that process, we know if God has put it on your heart or provided it to you, a way
Mm.
will be made for you to actually execute that.
Yep.
With that being said, let's talk about you creating your patterns for your actual company. I heard that you mentioned that it took 7 years to create one pattern. So, can you tell us a little bit about that process?
Yes, like I said, like I said, I'm a graduate of Clark Atlanta University the fashion program. At the time, Clark Atlanta's fashion program was ranked as, in the top 20 fashion programs in the country.
Wow.
So, at HBCU, he's underfunded. But in that, I was instructed by great professors that told me to find master tailors to study under. And I studied. But then also with studying, I learned that me just being a scholar, like I try to read my goal every year is to read 30 to 50 books per year. Probably not going to hit that because I'm going to reread the entire Bible. There's a lot of words in there, a lot of words,
Yes.
a lot of words. But
Uh,
but me just being a scholar, I realized that everything relates to everything, and so I started taking classes or sitting in on classes for anthropology, culture and society, biology, you know, just to understand the human body more and why certain things are the way they are.
mhm,
There's a reason why black people tend to have bigger thighs and butts to our white counterparts.
mhm,
There's a reason why our Asian brothers are typically a little bit shorter, you know. And I factored all that information, all that, I just call it data, into a pattern, into like what makes a perfect suit. So the way I do my fitting with my process, of course, I'm gonna take tape measurements like any other tailor on planet Earth. My head looks shiny. Let me rotate this way.
You are a mess. You are
my forehead,
absolutely fine.
my forehead feels shiny. What I did was took all that data and made a pattern that's like a perfect pattern in the sense of yes, I'm going to take tape measurements of you, but I'm also going to put a pant on you, put a jacket on you, put a vest on, get you dressed in my signature cut. And that way we can have a dialogue together. You can tell me before you give me $1, I like my pants to feel like this, look like this. And those try on patterns, my try on fleets, as I call it, it's a perfect pattern because it takes in account all the information I've studied and learned about people and factored that in. So now when you come in, if you just put on a jacket off the rack, which I don't have off the rack, but if you was to just put on one of my try on jackets, and people try to buy my try on suits
Hmm.
just off the rack because the fit was just dang near perfect first time, and it's like, yeah, but that's because I studied to achieve that. A lot
Yes.
of research went into it.
So let me ask you this. So let's just go back just a little bit. You talked about how you did your assessment and you've taken time to assess the body type. We know primarily, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you do more for men than women, but I do see some women on there. How have you assessed the women body? Because we have all different types that may be a little bit more intricate than the male body. Not saying that's not the case, but we have times where we bloat, we have times where we're not. How do you assess a woman's body versus a man's body?
And that's the beauty of women, especially black women, because everybody is, so different and diverse. I have a woman's pattern and it's still being corrected every single day. With
Wow.
every single female client that I get, I'm taking that information as information data and I'm like, okay, I need to adjust my pattern here, 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 because, there's a time where I had a big problem where all my ladies' pants weren't fit, they were fit everywhere but the hip,
Mm,
which is like, that's like the biggest part. Or, you know, numbers wise, the pants fit perfect, but every woman will say, I don't like the fact the crotch dropped so low, bring it up some. So it's like the fit is perfect. It's just the look they want to achieve. And then every woman is different. I have
yes.
some women that want that sexy look. Then I have another woman that wants it to be more of a gentleman's cut. So that is a pattern that I'm still currently, perfecting. And that's why I take my females clients so serious. Because I could do men's every single day. That's not a problem at this point. I'm a master at that. But to master women is a trade and an art craft that I'm still perfecting, being perfected every single day. Now, granted, I'm still probably the best in Vegas, if not the state of Nevada.
Okay.
So my mistakes are a lot better than.
Well, like you said before, you get to learn from that. And I think if a man really truly listened to what the woman wants, far as what she's trying to achieve, you'll always be a cut above the rest, so to speak.
Right.
Because it's certain things. I have a smaller waist, I have larger hips. So it's a certain way that you want certain things to flare on, certain areas of your body. Because at the end of the day, you want it to represent you and you want it to look good, not
Mm-hmm.
just look good. You want the energy of elevation when you wear it, when you step out. What's the song? Dun dun dun. There they
Yeah, I
go. There
know.
they go.
Yeah,
You want
I
that
miss.
energy. You want that energy of that. So let me ask you this. What is your favorite fabric to work with? Silk, cotton, you give me what you like to work with the most.
Suiting. I do have some contracts with some very high-end fabric companies, Cabal, Holland and Sherry, Raina. But a lot of my fabrics I hand select. They're my fabric books. I actually created and picked the fabrics that I want in the books.
Mm,
So I love suitings. Try to stay in like the super 120 range to, quick crash course of custom suits or fabric. The higher the super count, the better the fabric, which more just means like how it was woven.
mm.
Um, so I try to stay in the super 120 area, even though I have some super 100s that I like more than my super 880s. So
Really?
really,
Why?
it's just the way it feels, ways it falls, the pattern that, the weave that's on it, the finish that I put on it. Like I have some fabrics where it already has a gloss finish on it. Like this jacket, if you notice, has like more of a sheen to it, but that's
Hmm.
because this was woven with mohair and a
Oh,
silk blend.
wow.
So like there's certain blends that I like. For my shirts, I actually have two that are like my signature. One, I'm really big on bamboo. I love the bamboo shirt. It's really, 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 really light. And then I have
And
another
it's breathable too.
really
It's a
breathable, really
natural.
light. Does it fall? The wrinkles kind of fall out naturally. Um, you know, it's just a real comfortable piece. And then I have another blend that I have created. It's a because I have really sensitive skin because I get bumps a lot and stuff. So I have a fabric material that's the aloe vera fibers are woven into it,
Wow.
and it's like I
Never
mean
heard of that.
every client that touches it get one of the shirts. They're like, oh, this feels like butter.
Wow.
And it's and then on top of that, it's really really light. So it's designed for Vegas.
Mm.
So I always tell people I may not be the best sewer, I might not even be the best, and I dank sure can draw. But what I do have is attention to detail, and
Hmm.
I can eyeball quality.
Wow. That's wonderful. I think just you. mentioning a couple of the designers or the fabrics that you purchase, it will get people in the mindset that, yeah, you can go purchase your clothes, but it's a whole nother elite line where you can get it custom made. And we have no idea because those, a couple of those things that you mentioned, I had no idea and I hadn't heard them before. So I'm going to go do my research before I come see you to see
Well,
what it's
no,
all about.
exactly. I always tell guys, ladies and guys, speak to me. So, like I say, I am a concierge designer. But being a concierge is, I always tell people, I went to school, I study this, I wake up every day, and this is what I do. I'm not gonna go to a mechanic, and no matter how much research I do, I'm not gonna go in a mechanic shop and be like, yeah, you got to put the car. I don't know and I always say that's my job. You
Yes.
tell me. Of course, I tell everybody when I do my consultations, I'm profiling you. What is their demeanor? How do they sit? Do they slouch? I'm psychoanalyzing you, but then also I'm factoring in like, okay, I can tell your right shoulder sits lower than your left.
Wow.
I can tell. I ask certain clients like, did you ever have surgery on this arm? Yeah. How'd you? I see it. I see. Oh, it was your elbow, wasn't it? Yep. I can tell your elbow, and I'm counting. Like I'm thinking about these type of things, but you don't need to do that. That's my job.
Okay.
Most of my clients, and then me being a concierge designer, a lot of my clients, once they come in for the first initial consultation, a lot of them never come back into my studio. Not that they had a bad experience, it's because I'm a concierge. They just text me, Darion, I need a blue suit, make it funky.
Wow. So because
And
you've
I know,
already built that base.
yeah, because I know you now, and that's why I take on so few clients. Now I would love to be at a position where I'm at a Gucci level and I'm making money at yin yang. I'm doing it, but I also say it loses. I would lose the genuineness of my clientele.
Hmm.
The fact that I have clients like my brother that passed away, like he named me his child's godfather.
Wow.
You know, um, one of my clients is asking me to be in his wedding
Wow.
to
So
have
you
that
build
type.
relationships.
Right. So it's building a relationship and that it relates to fashion because now you tell me I need a blue suit. I know the exact fabric that would be good for you. It may not like, or people say, oh, black suit. There's millions of blacks. I can tell which black that you need. Like, for
Yes.
example, you don't need this black with the silk blend if you work, in construction or you're a laborer because it's going to look bad because the dust and everything is going to get in the fibers. So now it's
Hmm.
going to start to look dingy faster,
Mm.
you know.
Mm.
But equal to that, if you're like, a high level executive, okay, yes, you might want to save, a couple dollars getting this suit, but I strongly recommend you get this suit with the mohair or the silk blend because it's going to last longer. It's going to be crisper. And to a guy to work, they're going to see that level, the differentiation of quality.
Yeah.
But that's what I do. Like that's my job.
No, I love that you said that. It just gives a perspective. You're going to craft what's needed. You come in, and that's where the consultation or the assessment takes place. With that being said, um, how long does this process takes?
But to get
Um,
a suit made.
just to come in and have a consultation to talk, is it an hour? Is it 30 minutes? What's your typical process with that?
So my clients will have an appointment at 1 o'clock and they'll leave at 7 o'clock. Not because it takes that long. We was done 6 hours ago. We've been done. But you see, I'm actually inside of my studio now. You see, I have a bar in here. I have a full bar. You know, in building a relationship, some of my clients, they like cigars. We'll sit out, let the planes go overhead, and we'll smoke cigars for an hour. We'll just be having conversation. I have a TV in here. We watch the game or something. So it's really hard to say as far as like getting the fitting done, picking fabrics, design. If we just do strictly that, none of the conversation, I'd be done in 30, 40 minutes.
Wow. That's
But
with the full assessment of the body, what
yep,
they like, how their shoulders, all of that.
yep, because I'm doing that while you're talking. Like again, I tell clients all the time, if you ever see me typing in my computer not talking to you, it's because I see something you either don't notice or don't care.
Mm,
Like I'm not gonna ask you, do you want a lamb canvas or do you want a lamb or a goat hair? You don't know nor care what that means. I
yes.
do, but you don't. So while
Would
I'm doing like, or okay, one of your shoulders sits lower than the left. Okay, I need to add an extra like quarter of an inch in the shoulder pad here. Like I see that stuff, but I'm doing that as we're talking about your kids.
nice. Well, I wasn't going to mention, but it has came across very clearly that you are a Virgo.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how that came across clearly, but yes.
Yes, it didn't come across. It came across very clearly with your Virgos can be a perfectionist, and sometimes they can see things nobody else can see. And what you're saying that not only that's a part of your process of being a private tailor, but just the little things you've said, it stood out. And I say, great, I love Virgos. My mom, my sister, shout out to you, Virgos. But I noticed, oh, I just get a little smile. But I noticed the details sometimes that others may not be able to see, that you guys can automatically go, oh, and very, very detailed with attention.
Oh yeah. Well, I try to. I mean, it's all about setting a standard of excellence and making sure that if we're gonna do, I always say, if we're gonna spend the money, do it right. You
Yeah.
know, and then as I keep mentioning, bringing up, it's all about being genuine. You know, I could be like a Men's Warehouse or a Joseph A. Bank and all that, and get you in and out. You know, get the money, boom, I'm ready to sell, whatever. But if I don't know your personality, if I don't know your thinking, what you do, you know, those things, those private little things can make the difference of, oh, this fabric will go better than this fabric.
Yeah.
You know, this blue, yes, you may like this blue, but I would recommend you get this blue, and I can give you why. Oh, you're a lawyer, you're a high profile lawyer. You know, you want to be both conservative and yourself in flamboyant sense. This blue is a combination of doing both. We match that with this tie, the power tie, the red tie right here. But instead of doing a solid red, let's do a little funky on it. I got this tie that has a silver. You know, like these are the little details that play on a person's personality. And that's what makes my experience so much different than just going to a store. Most of my clients always say they come with me, they go to like Saks or something. They're like, I don't even want to be here. I
Well,
don't
and that's what it should
know.
be. You should be able to take them to the next level. As you're talking, I'm thinking of, for example, when a young lady goes to get her makeup, this makeup artist is going to assess her skin. Is it oily? Is it dry? She's going to look at what her cheekbones look like, all these different things.
Mm.
When you are crafting something for someone, you have to be able to assess the situation. And again, I believe that that's probably what 90% of your job is doing assessment.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean the clothes. I mean, I always say suiting a suit is a suit. I mean, am a designer and I have very flamboyant designs. I also have some conservative looks. But it's clothes has been clothes since it's really very rarely that we come up with just brand new concepts and designs. So what I'm doing is I'm tailoring all my knowledge to you.
Mhm. I like that. I
Mm.
like that you're tailoring all your knowledge to me.
Yeah.
And I can't wait in the future to be able to come by and visit and kind of see what can be created. One thing I did see on your Instagram, a young lady, it was, I, I don't know if I'm going to describe it right, but it was like a cognac color, looked like a coat, but it looked
Hmm.
like it can be worn as like a blazer. Do you know what
Oh
I'm
yes,
referencing
yes,
to?
yeah. Actually, yeah.
I thought that was pretty dope. I like that because for me, I can build on it or I can just wear it as it is. So I thought that was pretty nice. Do you know what that piece, the name of that piece or what it's made
This
with?
this piece here.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Shout out
Yes.
my girl China. Yes. So that was 100% cashmere jacket. Well, actually, it wasn't 100% because there's 10% Verkunen in it.
Okay,
Uh,
I have no idea what racuning is, but
it's a very, 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 very rare and expensive wool.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I have access to it. So it was Mercunin and cashmere, um, pea coat, if you would say.
Mm-hmm,
I played with the length a little bit, and then I did gave it a club lapel to accent her round. Like she has a rounded face, so her face lines up with the jacket itself.
mm-hmm. I thought it was beautiful. I love the color. Like I said, I like things that I can play with. Yeah, yeah. I love that. I love that color, everything. So, yeah, I'm keeping my eye out. I got my eye on you. I'm checking you out.
I
So,
tell everybody, I'm a phone call away. That's the next thing I always tell people. Hey, I'm very approachable. As much as I'm a private tailor, I take only a few clients. Call me. My number is on Google. My number, like I'm
yes.
very.
And we'll make sure we provide it at the end of this episode. So, with that being said, let's get back into music.
Mm.
Can you identify a song that as a child you listened to, you enjoy, and you sung that song, and then you became adult? You were like, 1 minute. I've been singing this or saying this, and it's totally something else.
Yeah, I mean, one of them I was thinking was International Players Anthem.
Okay. Yeah,
So
tell us why and give me some lyrics.
it's just the whole Andre 3000. I choose you, and like the way one hearing the backstory of like how it's created and everything, like the lyrics and what it means. It's like one of those like, bro, don't get married, but then also get married, but love that
Yeah.
woman, but then also we players. That was one. But then another one I really was thinking about the moment I read the question, I was like, oh, a song called Kick Push from Lupe Fiasco.
Mm.
That was big. Even to this day, he has to go back and remind people the real meaning of that song.
Okay, so give me some lyrics of the song and give me what the meaning is.
Hold on one second. Okay, so like a big portion of it is like kick, push, kick, push, kick, push, kick, push, coast. And away he rode, just a rebel in the world with no place to go. And he kicked, push, kick. And everybody's thinking that a lot of people thought it was about drug dealing. And a lot of people thought it was like about basketball. Where Lupe Fiasco is, I told him, no, it's about skateboarding. It's about finding your passion and he found his passion in skateboard. So he's gifted a
Yes.
skateboard, I think like 6 years old in his interview. And like we all interpret it as something different, but the real interpretation is no, find your passion, be passionate about it, and that's your thing. Do your thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I applaud you for that because we definitely all need to find our passion and do your thing. With that being said, um, you graduated from Canyon Springs, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And I say that I think I heard you say something to the effect, which currently my daughter attends the magnet program, the law and leadership program there.
Mm.
And I say that countless people's like, oh, you're gonna let your child go there?
Oh
Oh,
yeah, it's in the
you
trenches. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Can
like
Springs is the
it was
trenches. Yeah, it's the
repeatedly.
trenches.
But when I went there, it was a sense of harmony. The students get along. So it's been given this, oh my gosh, don't go there. But it's really been a great school. So
It
can
was
you
worse
speak
when
to
I was
that?
there. I was Canyon Springs was worse when I was there. I went to Canyon Springs at a time I was class of 2014. That year, Nevada, I think, was ranked 50th in education. Canyon
Mm,
Springs was ranked the worst school in Nevada. So
mm,
using deductive reasoning, I always tell people I went to the worst school in the country.
mm,
We had fights damn near every day, but in a way, it was weird because it was the same school with two different schools because you had the magnet program kids where we're like, oh, we're getting grades, we're doing our thing, we're still doing kid stuff and getting in trouble, but it was still like, no, we still like brainiacs. Like my friend group, as ignorant as we were, all of us went on to college. Like all of it, and I'm talking about like with scholarship, not like just going like and not athletic. Like we were 3.8s, top of the class,
Wow.
stuff like that. So, but then you have like the riots and gang violence of Canyon Springs and the shootings and stuff that was also happening at the same school. So it was like a duality of two schools. But my logic, and I tell this to parents and I tell this to everybody, 2 + 2 = 4, no matter what school you go to.
Hmm.
I wanted to go to Bishop Gorman at one point. I had a scholarship to go to Bishop Gorman, and my mom said no. I'm now as an adult, I know why she wasn't gonna wake up and take me. So it was like no, and she's like, I'm not paying for you to go to school, and school is free.
Mm-hmm.
But in that, my mom and my coach, my mom always had a thought of it is not them teachers' responsibility to teach you. It is your responsibility to learn.
Mm. Mm.
Them people at Bishop Gorman, all these rich schools, they got the same books. We got the internet now, so it ain't like, and everybody back in the day, it used to be, oh, the inner city schools don't have computers and, they don't have the resources. Busha, because now we actually have phones that do
Mm-hmm.
everything that computers do, and everybody got them.
Yeah.
Everybody got access to the same information. So, on the academic level, school is whatever school you make, whatever experience you get out of that school.
I do believe if you're supportive, if you're showing up, if you're active in your child life, no matter what school they attend. Of course, it is some schools that, yes, we will divide this. It's some schools that are on a higher academic level. But my thing is, regardless of where you are, if you're taking interest in your child learning, you're being supportive. If it's something that's going on, you're addressing it,
Mm.
you can make a difference. And I truly believe that. I truly believe that.
I mean, yeah, because people would try to say like all the inner city schools. Now, granted, do I think we need to give more funding to the inner city schools? Yes, I think that they're
Absolutely.
underfunded. You know, in a lot of the school districts rules and everything. Like I think it all started with that "No Child Left Behind" nonsense. Nah, some of them need to be left behind. Some of them we need to redo this.
Well,
But
it's because they didn't have the information to begin with. So we're just passing them on to have the same thing over and over again. We need to do some real assessment and say, you're not ready. What are you not proficient in? And we need to address it. But
and
that's a
then
whole nother.
it really just comes down, like you said, being a present in the kid's life. As I said, I'm a guide ride director for the Las Vegas Cap Leadership League, the elite chapter. And we got kids that go to Faith Lutheran. We got kids that go to Canyon Springs.
Mm,
We got kids that go to school, they don't even see another black kid. We got a school where if they see a white kid, they're like, "What are you doing here?"
wow.
But in that, they all check each other, they watch each other, they care about each other, and under my leadership, I would not pat myself on the back. I tell them the same thing I just said. Hey, your schooling, that is your job.
Mm-hmm.
It is
Mm-hmm.
not your mama's job. Mama can't help you. My mom used to always say, I got my degree. My mom always reminded me. She said every single one of them teachers in that school, they got their diploma already.
Hmm.
You trying to get where they're at, not the way around. Don't feel entitled like, oh, this teacher ain't teach me. No, no, you didn't learn.
And let
Because
me say this, we do have some teachers that could give a damn and they're not doing what they're supposed to. And that's when the parent needs to come and be a part of the conversation and say, hey, we're having some miscommunication here. But I do think that it's some entitlement with the children, like, oh, they just didn't teach me. I'm
oh,
not going
that's
to
the biggest
learn.
problem. That I think the biggest problem that we find in society, you know, and why there's this societal cultural shift of entitlement is because the young people of today get their everything taken care of for them.
Mm-hmm.
If they have an issue with their teacher, they run to mama and they take care of it. Now, I grew up where I would have to go to that teacher after school and be like, so what's up? Like, do
Yeah.
we have a problem?
Mm-hmm.
We need to address this. And then it wasn't being disrespectful. It was more of okay, I feel like you don't like me. And some teachers, I've had teachers where I hated them all through high school. And to this day, whenever I go back to Canyon Springs, well, she's I don't think she's no longer there this year. But when I used to go back to Cane Springs, I'd go in, I'll talk to, she asked me to speak to her class, and I'll say, I did not like her. In front of her and her, I did not like her.
Yeah.
But guess what? She taught me my standard because now, yes, she's marking me down 10 points in my stuff being a day late. And I go to my mom thinking like most parents would, oh, you know, this is not fair, you know, all this stuff. And I'm like, my mom made me realize, wait a minute, when was it due? On the 12th?
Correct.
And when did you turn it in?
Correct.
You know, but everyone gives these parents make more excuses for kids than kids.
Huh. Come on now.
They make more.
Listen.
And I don't be falling for it because I'd be like, oh, I've had parents tell me, oh, well, he couldn't get the reason why his grades are bad because he couldn't get his assignment done because his computer broke. And it's, you know, we couldn't. I was like, so the library just don't exist. Oh, he had no way to get to the library. So the bus system just stopped running.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Today, there's just no bus.
You want them to have some kind of natural, like you need to figure it out. You need to find a way to do what you need to do.
That actually is the reason I went to my college. The college I went to, Clark Atlanta University, when I had 4 schools to choose from, the motto of Clark Atlanta was, I'll find a way or make one. And that resonated with me.
Wow. Wow.
And that's what we all did, bro. We was scratch, clawing, and fighting.
But you made it.
Yeah.
Now, on the other end of that, I must say, if I bring that up, I must say that it is sometimes that adults need to handle or have a conversation with an adult.
Oh, yeah.
Because the child does not have.
Grown folks. Yeah.
Correct. No, you're absolutely right. Because this adult, we already know it's some game in there. So it needs to be 2 adults, like you said, grown folks talking to grown folks. And that standard needs to be met. But what I do believe, when 2 adults are talking or having a conversation regarding that child does not need to be present. Just in case, and the reason why I'm saying that, just in case it's some interaction that's not well, if the mother overpowers the teacher and the child sees that, now the child may come in and be like, I ain't got to do nothing. My mama will come in here and do it. So I think it needs to be an adult conversation. They agree to disagree, set the standards or address whatever needs to be addressed, and then let the child know, this is what I expect for you. If something happens, let me know and we'll address it. So it's a combination.
Yeah, because I mean, I was fortunate and blessed enough to have the mother that I had. But then in the same sense, like, man, I tell my mom to this day, like, Mom, you're mean. Like, but in that she was hard nosed, no nonsense, because that's the reason why I am the way I am. She taught me nobody care in this world. My mom would go to a teacher, principal, counselor, have a sit down, and would stand beside me 100%. She never didn't have my back. But the moment we left there in public, we are unified, we are a unit.
As it should be.
Private, my mom was like, so you just go to school and just dick off. So I send you to school to go learn something.
Yes.
And I got these people telling me that you be in here on your phone.
There
and
you
everybody
go.
Can't be lying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But that's a real mother that's going to say, listen, I need you to get this together because I'm not going in there and have that conversation again with them, or it's going to be me and you.
If my mom, because I old school, they better not call me. If them people call me at my job for you, and every time they go to the dean's office, and I'm on the phone. My mama, before they get on the phone, they lying.
See, we already know that's a problem. We already know that's a problem.
I'm like, Mama, I ain't even do nothing. This is what happened. Immediately, my mom is saying, okay, so she just miraculously chose you out of all people to say, give me your phone. Now she on the phone with the principal, the dean. She got my back, but again, is that common, like, you know better?
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times today, parents don't give the kids the you know better talk. They make excuses for the kids, young men, and I don't. That's why the youth group that Kappa Alpha Psi has, the Guide Right program with Kappa League, my teaching, and I tell parents this every time, we're training these young men to be young men. They are no longer boys. And the easiest way to explain it, what would you do if mama and daddy were gone?
Yes.
Then get to doing it. Then why haven't you done it?
Yeah. But that's why we need capital E groups. We need groups where men and women can provide guidance, because what's going on today, no experience is being available. Like you said, the mama come in and give you more excuses than the child. Like, hey, this happened with his computer, this and that. I get it, but at the end of the day, I'll use me as example. When my children have something they should or should not do, or whatever the case may be, and they said, well, I need to go talk to my teacher. I said, okay, email them, because I want them to get in the habit, because I won't be there if they're in college, or maybe I'm out of the country, whatever the case may be. I want them to get in the mindset that you have to communicate with the teacher. And sometimes the teacher don't even know until you bring it to their attention. So we have to give them that experience of communicating, the experience of failure, the experience of picking yourself back up and learning from that, because failure is a blueprint for success, period.
Right. Yeah, and then I mean, even teaching the kids CYA, cover your if you send emails, you got a paper trail. Hey, I sent the email and they never got back to me. Now it's
Acts.
when a parent comes in. But my mom would always say, "You better talk to them before I have to.
Hmm.
if I have to, if I got to talk to them people, and I go in there and and I get embarrassed in front of people because I find out you been on your phone, texting, jerking off, whatever. We got an issue now."
Your mama didn't play.
Yeah, it was
Rightfully
no
so.
nonsense. I always said my mom had a concept of there wasn't an excuse good enough.
Mm.
There was never excuse good enough. Parents was, oh, everybody in the class got bad grades. Well, my mom would say, well, you're my son. I could care less about what everybody else doing.
Hmm.
Or she would remind me like, okay, so you got a D. Does anybody in the class got a B or an A? One person. Okay, so why aren't you part of that with that one person?
Ooh, good response.
You
Excellent
know,
response.
teacher. I mean, the excuses that kids get. Oh, I only got a D because I turned in some assignments that they ain't graded yet. No, you turned in an assignment late
Hmm.
because for there to be a grade of 0 means that she graded the papers and yours wasn't part of it.
Correct.
So now you want her to stop what she's doing to go back and do something that she told you to do before.
Hmm. Hmm. And that's the
And
thing.
when you
That's
break
why
it
we
down,
need to have these conversations with them, so they know that, listen, the world does not revolve around you. Your emergency is not my emergency.
mhm,
Okay. I can
failure on
work
your
with
part does
you.
not failure on your part does not constitute an emergency on mine.
Hello. Hello. Mm. But those are the things that we need to continue. And let me be very honest, it's some grown folks that have not learned that lesson. The point is that whatever situation you're in right at that time does not automatically apply to everybody, period.
Mhm.
So, with that being said, let's talk about music again, and let's talk about, can you identify a song that fills in the spaces and places of maybe some words or some things you could not say? For example, it was a song that Monica sung, talking about you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. And if a relationship is kind of going left, that song is played over and over again, like, hey, hint, hint, hint. Can you think of a song that can fill in some spaces or places of words that you cannot say verbally, but the song helps you execute it?
I don't know because it's more of jazz, if that's the case.
Okay.
There's a song called Forest Flower from Michael Cavan. He's one
Mm,
of my favorite jazz musicians, Forest Flower, and I'll just put that on repeat. And it doesn't there no words, saxophone, he's a drummer, but it resonates with my spirit and it gives me like when I'm sad, that's what I listen to. When I'm in deep thought and I need to figure something out, I play that. Same thing with Thelonious Monk around midnight.
mm.
And actually like I think Jennifer Hudson just redid it with why did I just forget that man's name just that fast? But they have a rendition. John Batiste has a rendition. As a matter of fact, John Batiste, whenever he has a new album coming out, for Beethoven, and one of the tracks on there that he just did a pre-release on was his rendition of Fair Elise. That's another one. So a lot of my expressionless music answers that. And then if I had to give a song that has lyrics, "Dollar in a Dream" from J. Cole.
Ooh,
I
okay.
used to
Give me
listen to that
some
a lot.
lyrics.
Uh, I'm trying to think of a good starting point. It's been so long since I listened to it. Dang. It's like I have to play it and then I'll be able to say it along. Like I can't off the top of my mind think of the lyrics.
No, I get it. We talked about that before on another previous episode, how when you're listening to it, you can just say it. But if you got to think about it, sometimes you're
Yeah, it's
like,
like I
wait a
don't even
minute.
know where to start. I'm thinking about the chords. I'm like, got a dollar in a dream. Ah, I gotta hear it, and then I'll be able to be like, oh yeah,
And it's by J. Cole.
yes. I gotta
Okay.
find it now. Here it is.
Okay. Give it to me.
Oh, I mean, I don't want you getting copyrighted now.
No, that's for the music playing. You can say whatever you want to say. Come on.
I say, don't give me the.
Don't play it. I just want you to say it. Give me the lyrics.
Where's the part? There's a certain part that was like that got me through at one point. Uh, oh, right here. Life at the bottom, nobody but God got him. They say, hey, he wouldn't leave me, yet I'm falling like it's in autumn. Tell me, what do you do when you're on your last dollar and you're and the stress of this mess? You can't make a nigga holler. It's like being broke. I've been broke a very long time, so that song, whenever I play it, it reminds me like, man, I got it.
There
I
you
got it.
go. I got it.
Yeah.
So, I believe everybody has, and of course, this wasn't a question as I asked you previously, but I believe everybody should have a theme song. When there's nobody else around, when there's nobody that can encourage you, do you have a particular theme song that you put that on and next thing you know, you're on a whole nother level? I know you mentioned some other songs, but just something that elevates your energy, takes it to the next level. You put it on in your car and can't nobody tell you nothing. Do you have one?
Uh, hmm. I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
One half of me is the Jay Z, Rick Ross, fuck with me. Oh, I don't want to be cursing too much.
No, it's fine.
But fuck with me, you know I got it.
Hmm.
They did his acronym, but I don't feel like figuring out. Okay, FW, FW. I'm not gonna. Yeah, that's one that I would play and it'd be like, bro, I want this playing the first time I make $1 million.
Okay. Okay.
Like this is
What's the
my
name
first.
of this song again?
Fuck with me, you know I got it.
And that's by Jay-Z and who?
Rick Ross.
Okay.
Uh, I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, that's okay. So before we get
Pusher Man from Curtis Mayfield.
oh, wait a minute. Did you go back to the 70s?
I play that. Every time I play that, I just feel like a drug dealer.
Okay, give me
I
a
feel
little
like
bit of it. Give me a little bit of it.
what? See, you put me on the spot because now I can't think of the words to say them.
It has the dun 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 dun.
uh, Superfly. I'm about to watch that movie tonight. I'm about to put that on my.
So you like the energy of that music and that era,
It was just hilarious to me. I just,
but
I
you
don't know
didn't
why
think they
that's.
was fly?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, yeah. Curtis
I,
Mayfield,
mm,
super fly.
I'm watching that movie. I'm putting that in my calendar.
Well, good. Well, good.
I'm
Well,
finna watch that movie.
well, before we get out of here, I would like for you to share any upcoming events you have, anything that can direct people to your social media, to your company. I know it's private, so if you can give just a little bit of information about that, just in case they want to come and solicit your services.
Oh, of course. Like I said, my company is SilverSpoon Clothing Co. My Instagram is silverspoon.co. Though I always tell people, I'm a private tailor. I'm very selective what clients I take, but you could easily be one of those clients. My goal, my mission is to raise society's standard of sophistication just one suit at a time. And if I see your energy, feel your spirit, hey, benefit of being the owner, I can make my own decisions.
That part.
So even if I have 150 clients, if I decide I want to take you, who gonna stop me? Who gonna fire me?
Yes.
But it's strictly appointment only. And you can contact me there. You can also reach out to me directly. My work cell phone number is 702-234-2656. Like I say, I'm very reachable. It's
Nice.
might have said they ain't got my number. Lie. Uh, and
That,
then my future projects I have coming up, I tabled my next collection, but I do have new ready to wear products coming up, some jeans. I'm dropping my own line of jeans. Track suits are coming out. And then every single month for the next few months, really going to be it's going to roll into next year. I have signature shoes, the shoe of the month. Those are limited releases. There'll be no more than 10 ever made of those shoes. Um, so yes, right now we have the pumpkin patch shoes. I think there's 3 pair left available. You can order that on my website as well.
and give them the website name or
Oh, and my
again.
website is silverspoonclothing.co, not
Yeah.
com.co. So it's really Silverspoon Clothing Co.
Awesome. So before we get out of here, is there a song that you would remember? I said this season was about love. Is there a song you would like to dedicate to the world that would represent you or give some love to the world? Do you have a song?
Um, One half the question when you sent me that question, I was thinking of the song I mentioned earlier was Lord I Done Done.
Mm-hmm.
And I encourage people to listen to it and feel the spirit behind it. I mean, it sounds very opera-y when you first hear it and Negro spiritual like, but it's more of a if you listen to the words and let it get in you're getting your spirit, you realize like the charge that we have to be excellent, the charge that we have to be the best versions of ourselves, to fulfill the what I call the eternal request. And then when God decides to take us, hey, I put it all out. I gave it everything I had,
Yes.
and it makes you
Yes.
really think like all the stuff that like you waited on, you know.
So we want to be an empty vessel. We want to be able to give everything that we have. So when we go to this next step with God, we are able to say, I did my part and we want job well done.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I already said if God decided to take me right now, like I said, I'm on borrowed time. So if He take me right now, that means my job is done. I can say I did everything that I was supposed to do while I was here, and if I didn't, well, then I would probably got one more day to live. Like,
well,
when
I
my
would
job is done,
encourage
He's gonna take me. So
well, I would encourage you each day brings new possibilities, new perspective. I know originally where I started with this podcast is not where I'm at today. So each day, just think of what can be done just a little bit different. And that's what I apply to myself. With that being said, I always talk about on this platform, I talk about the journey and the destination. The journey is where we learn and where we grow. The destination is where we celebrate. Far too hard, we work, 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 and we never really celebrate. So that destination is where we celebrate. But when it's all said and done, we have to get back into the journey so we can continue to learn, continue to grow, continue to elevate. So, with that being said, with all my women that come, I bow to them, but my men, I salute. So, I salute you And I thank you for coming on to Message Reveal podcast. And I always like to give my guests the absolutely last words. So last words go to you. You can say whatever's on your heart.
Oh, I mean, like I say, follow me on all my platforms. It was a privilege being here. My tagline for my company is "It's a privilege." Um, love God, be happy, and remember that God has seen you through 100% of your worst days. Ain't missed a
Yes.
day. And when you at your lowest point, like I've been, even, but have fun. Like I said, I've been broke a long time, and
But
I
it's
ain't never.
going up. We're going to speak
I've
elevation.
been broke a long time. I've had money. I've not had money. Yeah. Well, in the meantime, I'm gonna have fun. Eat the food. Do the things. And I always say, pick a struggle. If you're gonna be broke, don't be broke and hungry. If you're gonna be broke, don't be broke and dirty. Don't be broke. Pick a struggle. Don't be both.
I've never heard it that way, but okay. Well, I wish nothing but high elevation for you. Thank you for coming on to my platform. And you guys, please, please put your hands together and thank my special guest, Mr. Darion Weatherspoon.
Everybody listen,
And
better be clapping right now.
and as I say to all my guests, I'll see you out here in these Las Vegas streets.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.